The Brendan Sorsby stuff has been interesting to watch because something that I have noted from the many people that cover the NFL is that many people cannot separate their feelings on what Brendan Sorsby is accused of doing, and the NCAA found him to have done what he self-admitted that he had done. So on that, and then maybe how things have been handled by the NCAA and NFL, it's even in like the reaction yesterday where people were like, oh, is Brendan Sorsby really going to sue the NFL? He already sued the NCAA. He already did this. He already did this. It's like, yes, guys, he is. He's trying to find a pathway to play in 2026. Like, it's interesting to me that people cannot come off their high horse, Daryl, about what he's been accused of. And I have no problem with you having a problem with that. It's then acting like anything that happens to him or his legal team representation is somehow fair game because you're morally, completely ethically upset by that.
Well, I think that the NFL's argument was semi-weak, and they should have just stuck to the gambling thing. Like, take a stand. Just say, hey, you're accused of gambling. We need to really deep dive investigate this, and that's going to be that. But just to hide behind, well, you didn't give us enough notice to get a supplemental draft together, that was ridiculous. And the gentleman that's representing him, I do believe, was the same lawyer that represented Maurice Clarett against the NFL back in the day.
I think that was a different guy. The guy that's representing him right now is the NFLPA's lead counsel, Jeffrey Kessler.
Yeah. And so he's used to fighting this type of stuff. Now, the NFLPA is probably going to stick with just worrying about their own members because that's how union membership works. And as of now, Brendan Sorsby is not a member of that club.
And the only thing I would say about that, because I've seen a lot of people make that case and make a lot of other cases, I think we're assuming a lot in this. I don't have any assumptions in, I've heard people be like, well, it's going to be a protracted case, so it's not really going to matter. It's like, I wouldn't. You can file for like expediency in these kind of things.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're assuming a lot in this. I think where I'm at is I would be shocked if Brendan Sorsby didn't file a lawsuit, and I would be shocked if this timetable wasn't pushed up a lot quicker than people realize.
Yeah, 100%. Like, this isn't over just yet. My view of it, I think the NFL should have had the supplemental draft, and then whatever team won the bidding for him, well, then you suffer the consequences of whatever may or may not come.
Which they've done with every other kid that has entered the supplemental draft. Look no further than Josh Gordon with the Browns in 2012.
100%. Rather than just say, well, we're just not going to have a supplemental draft. And I understand your bylaws or whatever says that you can make that determination on your own if you're going to have a supplemental draft or not. There's really no parameters or circumstances or whatnot that they have to define. It's just we feel like doing this year. We're going to do it. If we don't, we don't. And I do feel like that there was an underlying message being sent here. But here's the problem that I have with the situation. And again, this is coming from somebody who is dead set against the Browns bidding on this kid and making him a Cleveland Brown. Is that the change in attitude when it comes to sports betting, right? It has certainly evolved, I think we would all agree, in the last 5 to 10 years. And so there's that aspect of it. He's coming up in a generation where this is what kids are doing now. They're betting on sporting events. It's everywhere. It's mainstream now. It's no longer you're going down to the corner store and talking to your bookie one-on-one, or you're flying to Vegas to go to the sports book to put your money down on whatever you want to put your money down for, entertainment purposes or whatever. Like, it's different now. And so I do feel like there needs to be an evolution, not just with the NFL, but all the sports leagues, about what's in bounds, what's out of bounds. Because if we're going to get to a point where if you've bet on sports of any kind, you now can't play pro sports, guess what's going to happen? Your talent pool is going to dry up real fast.
Well, I just also think there's nuance to this thing that people refuse to accept. One, he wasn't on the active roster when he was betting on his team. He was betting on his team. He was not betting against his team, which would be another thing. Again, these are slight nuances to it. And they did happen 4 years ago. So the NFL's thing, which was, well, we gotta see you take accountability, and time is your best friend. It's like he's already had time.
Yeah.
He hasn't repeated the mistake he made when he was 18 since then. And here's the other thing. It's not the NFL's place. The NFL, the instant that they levied this ruling, became even more hypocritical than they're known to be. You have a league with a fair amount of guys that have been tried or arrested for domestic violence, sexual assault, drunk driving. I mean, Rashee Rice just got out of jail, for the love of God, for a damn near deadly crash, which, by the way, he only did 30 days in jail on that one because, let's check the notes here, because he failed a weed test, which was against his probation, which is basically an IQ test. The league, like, none of these guys, and by the way, I don't begrudge them. Like, just because you've done horrible things, it's America. People do horrible things all the time, and they get second, third, fourth, fifth chances. So I don't expect the NFL to be any different. But drawing the line at gambling, their response was perfunctory. Their response is, we don't think that you can go ahead and muster up a defense, or maybe you don't have the money or whatever. So we're gonna make a case out of you because you're a peon and we're the NFL.
Right. You
didn't need to. And this idea that they're somehow protecting the NFL teams against themselves, no, they're not. No, they're making a statement because they can. And the actual, groundwork that they have for it is really weak. They do not listen. If you don't create pathways for Brendan Sorsby to get into the NFL, he's going to sue you to create a pathway. That pathway could end up threatening your other pathways, which are there and make you a lot of money, namely the actual NFL draft. The NFL knows this. The NFL has built their entire thing on a house of cards. But because people in the media can't separate their personal feelings about what Brennan Sorsby did with, logic and, rationale, because once we get, we're offended by this, bleep this kid, and by the way, you don't have to like it. That doesn't mean what the NFL did was right or legal, and it doesn't mean that the NFL is the big bad, look at what they did. No, the NFL is hypocritical, and I think inevitably this is going to be a big statement that falls for nothing.
Their defense is, we can do what we want. We serve at the pleasure of whatever we want, and we don't have to hold a supplemental draft, and so we're just not going to do it. And I think that was the complete wrong avenue to take with this. They should have held the supplemental draft. They should have allowed teams to bid the picks on him, awarded him to whatever team had the best pick. And then if you want to circle back and say, okay, now we are going to open up an investigation into what you did at Cincinnati and your betting that you have openly admitted to and said that you had an addiction, we're going to look into that, and there may or may not be consequences for that. That's fine. But
I still have a problem with that, but that's another conversation.
But I can live with that, but just to not even have a supplemental draft when, as you pointed out, all the unsavory stuff that their players get away with, and by get away with, I do mean get away with. And that's the line that you're going to draw, and you're going to try and keep him now out of your league. Enjoy your time in front of Judge Wapner or whoever you're going to draw on the federal level.
But here's the thing. I don't think it's going to stand.
No, I don't think it is. Yeah, I think Sorsby's going to win.
And I would imagine that at some point in the, I don't want to say very near future, but in the next 2 months, I would imagine they're going to have a supplemental draft because the NFL really doesn't have a legal leg to stand on. Now, the NFLPA choosing to look another way, I think, might make Sorsby decide to not go forward with this, but I think it makes all the sense to sue the NFL because, guys, people, the NFL is not going to look kindly on that. Okay, but here's the thing. If you sue, whether the NFL wins or loses, the NFL can't go after you. They can't. If you win and the NFL decides to throw a legal hissy fit or they can't punish you. Now, literally, they could try and do what you suggested, but at the same point, you could then appeal on the grounds of you think it's punitive, and in response to you suing the NFL. Right. So, I do think Brennan Sorsby is going to end up being in the NFL this year, and I think there will be a supplemental draft, and the question is going to be of timing. I could be wrong on this.
It'll probably have to be in August.
But, he still wins.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. I'm gonna go back to this. The NFL, like when people get upset about like the Rossini thing, she's a sports journalist. I've watched a lot of sports journalists have a biased opinion on Brennan Sorsby because they can't separate their personal feelings about what he admitted to doing and how the NFL conducts business. So it's sports journalism, for the love of God. None of these guys are Edward R. freaking Murrow, with the exception of Albert Breer and Darrell Ryder.